What up, guys? Daddy's back. Alright, cool things this week happening right here. This week we will learn some cool things about right triangles. Woohoo, right triangles. In honor of right triangles, here are some other things that are right. Alright, you guys ready? Here's a good list of things that are right in honor of right triangles. First thing, Mr. and Mrs. Sheevy, they are right for each other. Look at that. Oh, here, maybe I should... never mind, I'm getting distracted. Right turns on red. That's a good thing too. You can turn right on a red sometimes. I like those places. Here's another good right thing. The Miranda rights. Alright, you have the right to remain silent. Alright, that's another one you might find useful. And then, of course, my favorite, if two wrongs make a right, then what do two rights? What do, oh, for crying out loud, two rights make? Alright. You guys have any idea? Two wrongs make a right. What do two rights make? An airplane. Okay. Do you get it? The right brothers? Alright, next. Here we go. Today we're talking about Pythagorean theorems. And it only works for right triangles. That's right. This week, everything only works for right triangles. So you better get that right stuff in your head. Okay? So Pythagorean theorem, one of the most famous theorems in all the land. And it says, in a triangle, the sum of the squares of the lengths of the legs. All right? By the way, this is a leg. And this is a leg. And I got two legs too. Alright. Is equal to the square of the length of the hypotenuse. And your hypotenuse is always the longest side. Hypot. Remember this. If nothing else, C always equals your hypotenuse, or the longest side. Alright? So, here's the formula. A squared plus B squared equals my hypotenuse squared, or C squared. It's your ABCs of math. Get it, son. Get it. Alright. Now, hopefully this is all a review for you guys. So, let's move on. So this is solve for x here. Now, here's the right angle, and one kind of cool thing about this is that the side opposite the right angle is always going to be your hypotenuse. Okay? And so I know I'm trying to solve for C. Even though it says x, I'm trying to solve for C. Alright. So I have 3 here, and so I'm going to make I'm going to square 3. What happened if I squared 3? 3 squared is 9, right? So remember, 3 squared plus 4 squared. Well, so I'm going to take this leg and square this thing. All right, so that should be a 4 by 4. What does 4 times 4 give me? 16, right? Alright, so A squared plus B squared equals C squared, and I don't know what C is, right? Because hypotenuse. I know their total will give me this squared. So, if we're geniuses here, and if I can draw a box to save my life. Last I checked, 9 and 16 gave me 25, right? So I know a squared, and kind of going backtrack here, plus b squared equals c squared. And I know 3 squared is 9, like we said over here. 4 squared is 16. And c squared, I don't know. Now 9 and 16 gives me 25. So I know c squared actually equals 25. And how do I get rid of that root? I made a root. Plus or minus. Square root of 25. Last I checked, square root of 25 is 5. So c equals 5. Now, I know you're probably saying I made a root. Why can't I put plus or minus here? Well, think about this very carefully. Think about it very carefully. We are talking about a distance. Okay? When we talk about distance, will we have -5 as a distance? Can you walk -5 miles today? No, sir. No, sir, you can't. So it's going to be 5. Does that make sense? It's the longest side. 5 definitely does seem like it's longer than all of the rest. All right, moving on to the next. Oh, we're getting fun. All right, now here, now remember, this right angle always points to my hypotenuse. So actually, I know C, don't I? Ooh, I know C. I don't know one of the legs. Let's call this leg. All right, and I don't care which leg I call it, whether I call it leg A or leg B. It doesn't matter, so I'm going to call it leg A. So that means this must be leg B. All right, so once again, A squared. So A squared, remember I don't know what A is, plus my B squared, which B is 9, so 9 squared equals C squared, and that's going to be 11 squared. Now this helps to know your squares by heart. I got A squared plus 9 squared is 81 equals 121. 11 squared is 121. All right, now how do I get A by itself? I am going to minus 81 from both sides. Minus 81. Okay, that cancels that out. And I'm going to have left A squared equals 21 minus 81. Last I checked, I believe that was 40. Alright, how do I get rid of that square? I make a root. And I got A equals, square root of 40 does not simplify. I'm going to do the dumb thing right now. I'm just going to say square root of 40. Now, give me a second. Alright, so I just checked it on my calculator, and A equals, I did square root of 40, and I got 6.32-ish, roughly. Yes. Alright. So the answer is about 6.32. Does that seem about right? Could this be 6.32? Now remember, your eyes deceive you. Don't ever go by the look, but I do know it needs to be smaller than 11 because 11 is my hypotenuse. And so that seems like it could work. Okay, let's keep going on. Let's see if we can get the next one done in a minute. We're going to skip 3. Let's move right on to number 4, this little bad boy here. Okay, now I got 2 triangles. I'm trying to solve the hypotenuse of this one. Is there any way? Alright, this is the hypotenuse, C. I'm going to call this leg, do B again. But I need to find A. A is not said. I do know the whole distance here is 16, and since this and this are the same, doesn't that mean that this has to be 8? Right? Because if that's 8, then this has to be 8 over here, and that will total 16. So, I got, let's say A is 8, B is 15, C I don't know. Alright? So I'm going to go 8 squared. Remember, a squared plus b squared, which is 15, equals c squared, which I don't know what that is. Okay? 8 squared is 64. Plus 15 squared is 225. Like I said, it's nice to have those squares memorized, and that's c squared. All right, 64 plus 225 is 289 equals c squared. All right, how do I get rid of that square? I'm going to go root. All right, 289. All right, so c equals the square root of 289, and I think, is that 17? No, might be close to 17. Let's pull up my 289. 289. I'm going to do the root. That is 17. Look at me. 17 is your answer. Now, double check this, see if it makes sense. Is 17 longer than 15 and 8? Because it better be. All right. Seems like that's the right thing. As we're going on, we're going to keep moving on. And we're going to skip 5. We're going to go right into the converse of Pythagorean Theorem. And so the converse says if the sum of the squares, now remember converse kind of means can we flip it on edge. So I knew right triangles had this a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So let's flip it on our side. What if we have something that works out where it's a squared plus b squared equals c squared? Maybe I can say that's going to be a right triangle then. Okay, it's kind of like don't give me chocolate. Okay, it's kind of like that thing again. So if the sum of the squares of the lengths of the legs is equal to the square of the length of the hypotenuse, then the triangles are right. So we can see if something's right by doing the Pythagorean theorem. Oh, my water. Okay, so here we go. Determine if the following triangles are right. So I'm going to name this guy A, name this guy B, and then this is the longest guy. So I'm going to call CM. C. Now I don't know. Is this a right angle? It doesn't say anything. That's what I'm kind of wondering. Is it a right triangle? So I'm going to go 9 squared plus 12 squared. Running out of time here, guys. Equals 15 squared. 9 squared, 81. Plus 144. Thank you, Gibbs. Gibby's got those down. He's got those squares down. 15 squared is 225. All right. Does 81 plus 140 blah 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 blah? That is 125. Sorry, 225. Right? 81 plus 144 is 225. And does 225 equal 225? Last I checked my math, 225 equaled 225. Let me get a second estimate on that. Woman, wife of mine. Stop speaking in Spanish. I don't know what she's talking about. Does 225 equal 225? Yep. Si, Benjamin. All right. Pretty good math. Si, Benjamin. 225 does equal 225. All right. Let's check if this. Oh, by the way, so that's right. It is right. Yay, it is right. Just like my wife and I's marriage. All right, we have about 50 seconds left. We got to check to see if this thing's right. Remember, this is going to be my A. This is going to be my B. That's going to be my C because that's the longest side. I don't care. A, B could be labeled either way. I'm going to fast forward here. Just wait. Okay, so I wrote out some math here. I did 9 squared plus 12 squared equals 17 squared, the longest side. That's 81 plus 144 equals 289. Does 81 and 144? I don't think so. 81 and 144 is like 245. Does 245 equal 289, honey? Honey, I can't hear you. She's saying no. Okay, not right. This is not right.